Welcome into the Brooks Bench with your host, Brooke, aka Shiggy, and my co-host, Megan.
Megan, what's up?
Brooke's not here. And I know that's a bummer because the way Brooke and I and Megan were talking throughout the Sweet 16 and Elite 8 was just insane. So I'm sad she's not here, but she should be back hopefully next week. But if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We appreciate you guys for tuning in every episode. Hit that like button, comment, follow us on all social media. I was going to give you guys a March Madness bracket update, but as you can tell by the jerseys we're wearing, I'm salty because I chose USC over UConn, which a lot of things have dropped me, okay, in the bracket. So I no longer want to update the bracket. If Megan wants to look it up and update it, she can do that, but I am upset. So we're going to be moving on to another topic. Obviously it's only April, but WNBA season is around the corner, people.
Woo.
And as you guys know, this channel originally started with women's fantasy basketball. So WNBA fantasy basketball, we do a draft, yada, yada, yada. If you guys want to join our league, we will be having a league. People last year wanted to play with us, so we will be opening up a league. If you want to play, put it in the comments. I put a post out on YouTube that if you want to play, let me know. Because they only let you have 10 players max. So I need to know how many leagues I need to create. So let us know if you want to join. We literally update throughout the WNBA season about fantasy news similar to college. So let us know in the comments if you want to play with us. But we have a lot to talk about. There's just so much. This is stress. This is stress. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get into the news first. A lot has happened. Kenny Brooks, sayonara.
Wow.
Sayonara, Virginia Tech. What did they do?
What was that?
It's their thing. Virginia Tech. I don't know. I think I'm backwards.
I think it's backwards, yeah.
Whatever. So Kenny is going to Kentucky. A lot of backlash saying he was not. What was the word they were using? Like he was already 1 foot out the door with this Kentucky job. It was a wrap. He was leaving. It doesn't matter. Capitalize on what you did with Georgia and Liz while you can. That's what I'm saying. Go get the bag, Kenny. But because of that, Georgia Amore, depression. This is gonna make me cry, reliving this. Georgia did not declare for the WNBA draft. She's in the transfer portal.
Is there any hope that she doesn't go to Kentucky as well?
She's going to Kentucky. Come to California, Georgia.
Yeah, I can name a bunch of the other teams where she can benefit.
Yeah, USC.
Yeah.
Your sister is in California, Georgia. Just come to California. No, she's going to Kentucky. Like, why isn't she? Has a no contact thing in the portal. She knows where she's going. Same with Clara Strack. We started to like Clara Strack this last game that Virginia Tech lost.
But it's
she's
like
going to Kentucky.
I mean, unless he has a recruiting class that or he already has, communications with people that are in the transfer portal, you're going from just a school where it was all Georgia more to another school where it's going to be the same thing. I just see the same vision for her.
Yeah.
It all being on her shoulders. I mean, wouldn't you want a year of it not being like that?
I don't know. The real question is she had a great draft stock, I think, this year. So it's like, I want to know the reasoning. Maybe she thought she could do better in next year's draft. Which, hey, when I was thinking positively, I'm thinking Bay Area next year. Great.
Well, when you're getting more of a bag in college and the WNBA has that, like, you can get drafted to a team and still get cut in 2 weeks from being drafted. Yeah. It's like that uncertainty. So,
yeah,
I mean, I don't blame some of the college students for wanting to stay. Like,
yeah, but she was projected maybe top 5 draft pick.
I know, but I'm still saying it's the WNBA. Even top 5, they can still potentially get cut.
That's true.
There's not a lot of roster spots. So.
That is true. Well, we'll stay tuned on that, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be Kentucky. Well, Kelly Harper got fired from Tennessee.
A little surprising.
Yikes. You know what? Someone posted a stat of all the great coaches now, like how long it took for them to win their first, national championship. these coaches 17, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 seasons, and all these coaches are getting cut after like 5, 6, 7,
Yeah.
8 seasons. They don't
Schools
have
are
a
like, they want it now. They don't
yeah.
want to wait.
No one wants to wait,
I
okay?
get it,
But you
but
greatness has, if you want to be great,
come
patience
on
is
though. Look,
key.
like, can we not celebrate how far she even got them though? She got Tennessee. I mean, they've done good the past couple seasons, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
but you know what?
It's like,
I think they could have done better with the talent she's had.
hmm,
I don't
I guess the school thought so
know.
too.
I don't know. Yeah. So with that, Tamari Key enters the transfer portal from Tennessee, and also her sister Tiani Key enters transfer portal from UNC. Maybe they go to the same
Same
school.
school?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. This was the most surprising transfer portal. Talia von Ohoffen.
Hmm.
But then someone said, well, Oregon State. I didn't realize Oregon State is still going to be in the pack. It's Oregon State and Washington State, I think. They're the pack too. They didn't ask to go to another conference or, whatever they have to do to request.
Yeah.
So now I get why she left. But it's a bummer. Oregon State with her, I mean, she had a really good season. So I was hoping she would stay with Oregon State, but maybe more to come with that. I don't know how they're
Yeah.
gonna do that, honestly. A couple of people declared for the draft. Camila Cardoso declared, Jalen Sherrod and Charisma Osborne, and also Shaylee Gonzalez from Texas. Obviously, those fifth-year seniors are probably gonna declare, but
Hmm.
we'll see. We haven't seen Liz Kitley. I know she tore ACL. Probably gonna have to wait, what,
Yeah.
9 months to a year or whatever. But still, these next couple of weeks are gonna be crazy.
Mhm.
Over to some fun facts, but also we're going to keep it out of the news. Juju Watkins is now the number 1 on the all-time scoring list for a freshman on the season, passing Tina Hutchinson. Go Juju. That's
Yeah.
why I wore
Good
jersey
for you,
today.
Juju.
USC advanced to their first Elite Eight since 1994, and UConn has gone to 30 straight Sweet 16s. We'll get into how great UConn is. It's just magnificent. And then lastly, Iowa LSU game averaged 12.3 million viewers on ESPN. Most watched women's college basketball game ever.
Everybody was waiting for that rematch.
Yeah, I feel like that we already knew that was going to break so many
Yeah.
records. It's just the most anticipated game of
Yeah.
the year, probably. Okay. Let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen. We're going through the recap of the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight. Let me get some water because this is about to be long.
Well, did
All
we
right.
share that we were in Portland?
Yes, we did. We shared in the past that we were going to be in Portland, and we were in Portland for the Sweet
Yes,
16
watching
and Elite
live.
Eight live. We tried to catch a lot of the East Coast games in Albany, but I was hoping Brooke would be here to fill us in a little bit, but she's not. So we'll try our best. So let's go through it. Sweet 16, we had South Carolina defeating Indiana. At first, we stopped watching this game because South Carolina was just whooping on Indiana.
Yeah.
And then Indiana came back and made it a close game, made me stress out while we're waiting to watch, what was it? It was the next game. I think it was Stanford versus NC State. But yeah, South Carolina pulled it out. I know Brooke watched this game. See, Brooke would
They
have
came
helped.
back. It was like 22 points they were up or something. I remember Dawn said it in the her press conference. She was just because Raven was like, no one can guard us. And Dawn Staley goes, well, they were able to come back in a 22-point lead. So
Yeah.
she's
But
so
yeah,
funny.
South Carolina beat Indiana 79-74. And then the biggest no, this wasn't a biggest upset. It was more my bracket buster. Oregon State defeats Notre Dame 70-65. Hey, you guys were right. Don't sleep on Oregon State. I think I was just so high on Notre Dame and I wanted them to do well. This was one of those heart picks. Like I was like, I have to stick with what I've been saying with Notre Dame. But yeah, let's before we get into the other stuff, let's talk about the nose ring. We have to talk about the nose ring because I'm not going to blame this on why Notre Dame lost, but I do want to point out that they did take Hannah Hidalgo out of the game for a significant period of time.
Mhm.
Like she was doing really well in the beginning of the game. Then this nose ring debacle happens, and now she's cold. You just blew out the fire.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is obviously in the rule book, no jewelry. But
Wore it all season.
she wore it all season.
Yeah.
She got confirmation that all she had to do was cover it up. And then all of a sudden, what they say in the second quarter or something, they're like,
Mhm.
no, it has to come out. Okay, timeout. 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 What do you mean all of a sudden in the second it has to come out? What happened when you saw it at the beginning of the game? What
Mhm.
happened when you saw it in the first quarter?
Mhm.
Timeouts? What all of a sudden it was epiphany? Like, no, that has to come out right now. Right now, get off the court. That doesn't make sense. What do you think?
Yeah, it's just weird, like, the timing of it, the fact that no one said anything the entire her ti entire season, like,
Yeah.
it's just and I'm sure she's not the only one that wears, like,
No.
a nose ring or any type of jewelry.
Yeah.
I get it, I mean, we were like, when I played, we couldn't wear, earrings and stuff,
Mhm.
but,
Mhm.
if it was something that's just never been said before and it wasn't
Mhm.
stated at the very beginning of the game,
Mhm.
you let him play, and that's
Yeah.
something you just tell her that she's not allowed to wear the next game, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
Or wait till a timeout or wait till halftime. I mean, there was
Or
other
call a ref
options.
ti timeout or something because it just seems unfair. You're benching someone and the fact that it took so long to come out, I mean,
Yeah.
that oh, man, that's tough.
Yeah, and then like all the players on, WNBA players are like, "No, we wear this, yada yada." Obviously, the rules are probably different, but they're saying like back in college they were wearing jewelry and stuff like that. I see people wearing jewelry all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's like pick and choose. It's like why are we doing that all of a sudden? But you know what? I always have a bone to pick with these refs, especially in this tournament. Atrocious.
Mhm.
I don't care. It was so bad. But that's just one stupid thing. I'm not saying that was the deciding factor that why Oregon State won. Obviously it
Mhm.
wasn't. Notre Dame was off. I think so.
Yeah.
Oregon State was hitting their shots. I mean, what can you do? Hannah Hidalgo didn't have a great game. So, I mean, that's a key component to winning for Notre Dame. So, I mean, Notre Dame's fire ran out, but I think they had a great season. They're going to be great next year with Olivia Miles. It's going to be nasty. I can't wait. So, moving on, Texas defeats Gonzaga. We were here, the most boring game I've ever watched my entire life. We were falling asleep, don't lie. I don't know why you're laughing. There was
Yeah.
Texas ran them. And it wasn't
Yeah.
even close. Like there was no glimmer of hope right when the tip off. It was just like Texas dominated. It was one of those was like Gonzaga played so well against Utah. You thought it would kind of roll over. And
Uh-huh.
then it was like Gonzaga just missing every shot.
And the crowd just wasn't in it. I mean,
Yeah.
the only time the crowd got, like, any life in them was a little bit in the 3rd,
Yeah.
and then it just died again.
And it was
But,
like,
when the crowds checked out, I felt like more of the crowd was out in the in the arena, like,
yeah.
walking and eating
Yeah.
and talking than they were in the arena cheering them on. I mean, it
Yeah.
was kinda boring.
Honestly, it makes me more mad because I had Utah over Gonzaga, and after
Mhm.
hearing what Utah went through during their what was it, round of whatever,
Yeah.
and just like their demeanor during the game, obviously they did look exhausted, like everything that was weighing on them, obviously that was
Yeah.
just horrible, right? So it's like, and then Gonzaga was shooting lights out, and I was just like, and then they come out and play like that.
Yeah.
Another salty bracket buster for me. We want to talk about it for real. But yeah,
And
there's
they just
nothing.
had to be on our side in Portland.
Yeah, thanks Gonzaga. Yeah, but nothing. Yeah, but we will talk about this. Will segue since we're on Portland. The 3-point
Yeah.
controversy. Oh my god! You know what's crazy? I. It's like okay, as a fan, am I inspecting the court? No, I'm just trusting that whatever's out there is supposed to be right. As
Mhm.
a coach, as a player. Doesn't it seem kind of concerning, like, that you didn't notice that? I don't know.
I think so because I mean they do shoot arounds, right?
Mhm.
So I would have thought that during shoot around I would notice something like that.
Yeah. I
But
don't
I mean,
know.
They didn't. I mean, because they didn't find out till the next day. So
Yeah.
Texas and Gonzaga both played on it, and Stanford
NC
and
State in
NC
there.
State
Yep.
played on it, and
Yep.
no one said anything.
Yep.
I mean, it wasn't even like it was going around the arena. Like no one
Yeah.
noticed it.
Yeah.
But I am surprised. They do shoot around. Both teams do shoot around. I
Mhm.
mean, all four teams did shoot around, and no one
Yeah.
noticed. So it is a little weird. But like you said, you know, as a coach or player, my thoughts are going to think that everything around me is set up the way it's
Mhm.
supposed to be. And I'm
Mhm.
focusing just on the way I'm playing in the game. And,
Yeah.
like I have my thoughts everywhere else, but still, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a crazy mess up on facilities because that's just unacceptable, really.
Well, it's like it's all getting flashbacks to what year was that when Sedona Prince posted on social media about the weight room
Oh,
and the disparities.
yeah.
So it all goes back to that. Like it's like this would only happen in women's basketball. No
Yeah.
chance this happens in men's basketball at all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's disappointing just because of the year women's basketball has been having with the viewership and the popularity. And now it's like another thing, another disparity, another mess up by, the committee or whoever does the court. Like,
And
come on.
I wonder how far in advance did they hear about, because I'm sure the media heard it a little bit later than when they actually figured out the court was messed up.
Hmm.
And I feel like if it was men's side, sorry, the men's side, they would have took the time to fix that court before tip off.
Hmm.
But instead for women, it's just like, it's messed up. You guys okay to play? Can we just play? All right, we'll fix it tomorrow. I don't
Well,
know.
the coaches did agree. I mean, the
I
following
know, but I
game.
still just felt like I'm sure I feel like they caught it soon enough to be able to fix it, but they just kind of chose not to. And I
Yeah.
know the coach, if the coaches did fight back, but I think it was one of those things where it's like, really, you guys want to fix it, or can you guys just both agree that we'll play?
Yeah. I mean, from what the media is saying, the coaches agreed to just play on it, and that they would fix it the next day. They didn't want to
Yeah.
miss the gap they had on ABC.
Oh, okay.
So the viewing on that, they thought it would run into that. So I
Mm-hmm.
see, but it just sucks because it's always like,
Yeah.
well, what if the 3-point line was correct? Then my team would be shooting better. I think the Baylor coach said that.
No, I mean,
You
they
know,
still warm up and practice on the way it was. So
yeah, exactly.
I don't
We're not
think
gonna
that
blame it on
plays.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay, let's go over to NC State upsets Stanford. Stanford let me down. I think Stanford for me was more of a hopeful pick, and it
Yeah.
was more of Kiki Ariafen. I was riding Kiki Ariafen. I wanted Stanford to do well for her and Cameron Brink. And it was
Mm-hmm.
just like they came out so strong in the first half, right? I was like, "Oh, Stanford's got it. They're hitting on all cylinders."
Mm-hmm.
Why second half come and then all of a sudden it was just like, "Whoop, guess we're not going to play today." And NC
Yeah.
State just hitting. Isaiah James just hitting. What she scored?
Yeah.
29 points. She was on fire the entire Sweet 16 Elite 8. She could not miss a shot.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy.
NC State just plays at a whole nother speed. And
Mhm.
when you allow them to play their game,
Yeah.
they're good. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to make them play your speed, your
Mhm.
tempo.
Mhm.
Because them fast breaks, I mean, yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
she was hitting lights out. So
Mhm. Exactly. Honestly, yeah, like you said, if you let them get out in transition, they're going to get you every single
yeah.
time. Like those they are good. And you know what? It was sad because we stayed the entire time and like obviously Stanford was going to lose this game, but Kiki Iriafen literally was trying to play her heart out, like trying to get everyone pumped, but her teammates, man, lacking the passion. They were
Mhm.
not in it. And it
They
just
checked
sucks.
out.
Yeah. It sucks because she's such a good player and like the guards, they're just not they're not at that caliber. I say transfer.
Well, that it was a tough game because literally what first like 2 minutes, Kiki gets like two fouls. And
Yep.
I think there were what
Or
charges?
no. She got one foul and Tara just immediately took her out and was like, "You're done
One
for
foul,
this."
but then she came back in and she literally probably scored like 6 points right
Yeah.
off the bat.
Bam, bam,
Then
bam.
got another foul and got taken out again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that does play a part, but she definitely played the minute she had, she played her hardest. And I mean,
Yeah.
we already know she's going to be great. She's going to continue to be great.
Mhm.
We just hope that she either gets more help at Stanford or,
Mhm.
maybe she looks elsewhere.
Transfer. I'm telling you, she goes to any of these teams that are going to compete, it's a wrap. It's
Yeah.
a wrap. It's a wrap. Okay, over to the other side of the bracket. We got Iowa defeating Colorado. They destroyed Colorado. I mean, Colorado was not going to keep up. And I think
Hmm.
we all knew that like Iowa was going to win this game. I was hoping Colorado was going to keep it a little bit closer, make it a little bit more scrappy. That vision did not come to fruition. Iowa right now is just on a heater. They're playing great. They're playing Caitlin said, this is my last year. I'm going out with the bang. So
Hmm.
not a lot of touch on that. We'll touch more on the LSU game later in the Elite Eight. But then obviously LSU upsets UCLA. I knew this was gonna happen. Even though I said UCLA, I had high hopes for them in the Pac-12 tournament. No words. I just don't have words. I don't know what they're missing because on paper, I think that it's like, yes, UCLA is the team to beat. But then you watch them and they're just missing a little something. And I don't know what it is. What are they missing?
I don't know. I think it came down to plays. I mean, I don't know what the scheme was. Like, I know towards the end, as the time's clicking, it's like, okay, try to get to the basket, get fouled and stuff, but they just weren't running the right plays. And it was just more like just try to force it inside.
Mhm.
Someone force it inside, and it was Kiki a lot of times. And then
Mhm.
it was force it inside and get turned over, get blocked, or
Mhm.
it
Mhm.
just looked really sloppy towards
Yeah.
the end. And honestly, they still were in it there for a minute at the end, but it was
Yeah.
just too many mistakes, like
Mhm.
too many turnovers, making rush shots that weren't
Mhm.
necessary.
Mhm.
I,
And I think the biggest thing that we were saying during the game is get the ball to Lauren Betts. Get the ball to
yeah,
Lauren Betts. And they were not doing that in the last couple of minutes. But she
right.
was the only way they were really scoring. And it was
I
like
think
you
Angel
said.
Reese had 4 fouls and they didn't get it into
Yep.
bets to try to draw the fifth foul for like the last 5 minutes or something. I
Mhm.
forget what it was, but
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I think it came down to coaching a little bit, but Kiki was forcing a little too
Yeah.
much.
A lot of yeah, in the paint and everything. But Flage, I want to talk about Flage because I love watching Flage
Mhm.
play. Like I know that there's haters of LSU out there, but you cannot deny Flage's
Yeah.
talent. She is tough and she's only gonna get better.
And she doesn't
Like,
quit playing.
no. She's good on both ends of the floor. She's so smooth. Like,
Mhm.
oh my god. I feel like she's not talked about enough. I feel like she's just hated because she's associated with LSU and that's why and all this. But I don't
Mhm.
think she's talked about enough as a player. Like she's an awesome athlete. Like
Mhm.
I just don't see why people I think it's just the association with LSU is why people are hating on her, but dude, she is tough. Like we're gonna be talking about her for years to come, and I just feel
Mhm.
like it's just being glazed over with all the LSU drama, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to USC defeats Baylor. Close game. This was a really good game. It's just funny because every time I think of Baylor, Baylor's coach went on Twitter and was like, "Oh, so that's why we weren't shooting as good as like the second half." I was like, "Okay, I don't think that's what it was, but whatever
Yeah.
makes you sleep at night." Honestly, but Juju dropped 30 points that game, and yeah, I don't know what else to say. Like, obviously, it was a close game. Baylor held their own in there. There were some doubts, but I feel like anytime Juju has the ball and it's a close
Mhm.
game, USC has the lead. I don't know. I just feel comfortable that they're gonna
She took
win.
over. Yeah.
Yeah, but Baylor, I mean, I know I talked a lot about Baylor, so I'll be the first to admit, Baylor, you made it farther than I thought. Because you lost some key games there, Baylor, during the season. Like, let's be for
Mhm.
real. But yeah, Baylor shocked me. I'm not gonna lie. What do you think about Baylor?
No, they're good. They're a scrappy little team. I mean, they didn't quit either. I mean, the guards on that team they're good. I was surprised. I mean, seeing them in real life and, they're smaller guards.
Yeah.
Baylor has smaller guards compared to other teams, but they take good shots. Like they are able to make, who was it? Not Little Bugs, but the
Taylor
other guy,
Andrews,
Williams. Is it Williams?
Jada,
Jada Williams.
I
She
think.
was hitting the making space and hitting the free throw line jumpers. And I was like, wow, that's her spot. Like she's able to create the space to get shots off. I mean, scrappy
Yeah,
team though.
definitely, definitely. Okay, last game of the Sweet 16. UConn defeats Duke 53-45. I know the score seems close, but I feel like
It was a slow game.
yeah. I'm telling you, I was like, okay, UConn got this in the bag. Like Duke was not, I don't know.
Yeah.
Duke was not duking. Because
Yeah.
they did not look like the team that beat Ohio State at all. And it was just like UConn had control the whole entire game.
Yeah.
Like,
They got to play their like a slow pace. Like
yeah.
clock just ticked off. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a low scoring game. It was slow. I
Nothing
mean,
really
there were some
exciting.
good plays by UConn. Don't get me wrong. Like
Oh
they
yeah.
had a couple good plays that woke you up a little bit, but
Yeah.
overall it was pretty slow.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, we knew UConn was gonna win this game. They
Yeah.
just controlled the pace, like you said. And
Mm-hmm.
Duke was just they did not look like the same team. There was some glimmer of hope. I think it
Yeah.
was like in the second half, but then it fizzled.
Yeah.
It was a wrap. It was a wrap. But okay, Elite Eight. Elite Eight time.
Mm-hmm.
So South Carolina defeats Oregon State. And I know the score says 70-58. But let me tell you, Oregon State was holding their own for the majority of this game, and it was making me
Mm-hmm.
nervous. The amount of shots they were hitting, I was like, oh my God, what is
Mm-hmm.
happening right here? But obviously South Carolina pulled away. But Oregon State, I know the Von Alhoffen transferred, and I mean that was shocking to me. But man, respect on Oregon State because what was the stat? They came in like almost last in the Pac-12 last year or something like
Mm-hmm.
that, and then all of a sudden they're doing great this season, and they
Yeah.
all were like this family, and they stayed and didn't transfer, and they're all young. I don't think they have any seniors. Like that's a great story, and that's just like a commitment to a team instead of like how transferring now compared to back then. Transferring is like a thing. Like you're not
Yeah.
happy, bye. Like you're not gonna try and stick it out and go through the tough times. So I think Oregon State kind of what's the word, promoted that sticking out through the tough times kind of attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And I like those stories because I feel like everyone transfers now. You get mad, you transfer. Like, what are you gonna learn from that, But did you have any nice things to say about Oregon State? No.
No, I mean, we were heading to the other game, so we didn't
Mm-hmm.
catch the full game. I
Yeah.
just know in the beginning, this is more towards South Carolina. They just were not themselves. They were forcing some bad shots. And it was
Mm-hmm.
just like
Mm-hmm.
I felt like they came in too jittery, You wanna
Mm-hmm.
you wanna do a lot when you
Mm-hmm.
are excited and all that. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Good for Oregon State for making it this far. I'll say that.
Yeah. And actually, South Carolina was led by Tessa Johnson, 15
Yeah.
points, someone off the bench. So obviously it wasn't their best game, but they still
Mm-hmm.
won 70-58. So still
Yeah.
impressive. But over to the other side, so we'll just stay on the same page right here. Let's talk about the most viewed, watched game in women's college basketball history. Iowa defeats LSU 94-87. Again, another score that's close, but didn't feel close at all the
Mm-hmm.
entire game to me. Obviously, LSU went on that run at the end of the first, and then you kind of got the feeling like, okay, this is the game everyone anticipated it being. I
Mm-hmm.
think it fell short of expectation. I didn't think it was I don't know. I don't think LSU was landing as many punches back to Iowa as I expected them to. Like, I think I knew Iowa was going to come out hot. Like, Caitlin Clark was going to come out hot. Revenge game. That's her narrative. But I thought LSU was going to put on a stronger front. Like we were really gonna go back and forth, like to the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I would control the entire game. Like
I think
let's be honest.
I think it was actually Angel Reese that went on a small little run there for a minute
Yeah, just hurting
after a
herself.
timeout, but that was it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think Caitlin Clark controlled the game,
yeah. And let's let's just spend some
and
time
she just
here.
had a hot hit.
Let's
Come on.
let's just spend some time here. Kim Mulkey. Okay, Kim Mulkey messed up because why'd you come in a professional blazer? Red flag. You dress crazy every game. Stick with the mojo. It's like, superstition. Why'd you come out professional in a green blazer, matching and everything? Red flag. You messed up there, Mulkey. Second mess up, Mulkey. Why'd you have Haley Van Lith on Caitlin Clark? Okay, let's be real. Let's all be realistic. Maybe basketball minds out there want to explain what Mulkey was trying to do, but Haley Van Lith is not your strongest defender. It's okay to admit that. Why is she on Caitlin Clark? I don't understand. That makes no sense. There's already a height difference. Haley Van Lith's not as great as a defender as most people. And you have one of the most prolific scorers in women's college basketball you're going against. So I need some explanation there. What do you think about that, Megan?
Yeah, it's not the defensive scheme I would have drawn out. I mean, I think I mentioned to you, I felt like, they should have had more help,
Yeah.
everyone was sagging off. Like, when they would set screens for Clark,
Mm-hmm.
Haley was fighting over it, and the post player that was guarding that
Mm-hmm.
person setting the screen was sagged back. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Caitlin Clark likes to go off the screen, do the step back three.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we not playing D for that?
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, I saw in the press conference, Lajay said that she did ask the coaches to put her on her sooner,
Mm-hmm.
and they were concerned of getting, their score in foul trouble. So they didn't want her to risk getting in foul trouble. But it's like, okay, you need her to stop them from
Yeah.
scoring points so that she can score points. I don't know. It was just
Oh
weird.
my God. That makes no sense. And like,
Yeah.
if you're on Twitter and you go on Twitter during this game, it's all WNBA players, all people that have played basketball. Like LSU, what are you doing? Like literally, they're bringing up scouts of Caitlin Clark. Don't let her go left. Don't let her shoot the three off her left off the left side. Like, why is Haley Van Lith on her? There's just so many things, and it's like, Kim, you're this great coach. What was your thought process? Why?
Yeah.
I don't understand. If anyone wants to explain it to us, please, because first, literally tip off, and we watch Caitlin Clark bring the ball down. First words out of both of our mouths: why is Haley Van Lith on Caitlin Clark?
Mm-hmm.
Like first, literal second. Doesn't make sense, but yeah, Caitlin Clark decided to drop 41 points. Way to stop her. Yeah, what the heck? Come on now, that's insane. But she had some help from Kate Martin, 21 points too, so that also goes a long way. When like, Caitlin Clark does damage, but when her other guards are hitting, it's hard to stop Iowa. But moving on. NC State upsets Texas. Oh my God. Let me tell you, Texas stood no chance. Right, Megan?
Yeah.
Out the gate. I don't know. Texas vibe was off. Like, it didn't feel like, when they were playing Gonzaga or anything like that. They weren't hitting any shots. No, no threes, nothing. NC State, Isaiah James again, just on fire. She had like 27 points. What was it, like 7 threes? Did I make that up? I don't know.
No,
It
yeah.
was, yeah. It
It
was,
was sometimes.
every shot was going in. Like she was on fire again. In like Texas, yeah. Not enough
It
help
was
from
crazy to
Madison
see.
Booker.
I mean, she was definitely hot. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. But on Texas side, without Roy Harmon, I mean, they
Yeah.
just don't have another go-to scorer. I mean, outside of Madison Booker, but
Yeah.
when Madison has to bring the ball up and try to create her shot,
Yeah.
it's just a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
so
And her shot was a little off. She was falling
yeah, she
short
wasn't
on a lot
hitting
of
right
things she
away. Took
usually
it time to
makes.
warm up. Yeah.
Yeah. But what can you do? NC State's on fire.
Yeah.
They're trailblazing right now. So
we'll see if they carry it over to Cleveland.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, on to the last game. My heartbreaker, America's heartbreaker. No, just kidding. Just mine. No, this was one of those where like when we were doing brackets and all that, and I saw UConn like play. Like again, we're from the West Coast. We don't see a lot of UConn. Their games are too early, okay? I'm watching UConn and I'm like, dang, I should have had them going farther than I did. And I regretted that decision, but there was still hope for me for USC because obviously I'm a huge Juju Watkins fan. I've been a huge Juju Watkins fan here, people. So watching this game was frustrating.
Mhm.
I feel like they were going back and forth, back and forth. But the thing was, UConn's what's the word? Like they're seasoned, right? A lot of veterans on the team. They've been in this situation, and it showed. They're just so calm on the court. And they just always are moving, moving. And I think that's what sets them apart because USC, they don't move. First of all, someone may be cut. I don't know. And it's just like it was so frustrating watching USC. And it's just like I don't even know where to start. Megan, do you want to take over?
Yeah. So like you said, just the fact that they are, they have leaders on their team, Paige, Aaliyah Edwards. So although they have two freshmen that play, they're surrounded by people that have been there before that know how
Yeah.
to handle those situations. I know they were dealing with some foul trouble, but yeah, they were calm. They just still played hard and got through it.
Mm-hmm.
USC, it's like all these players, a lot of them have not been here. Juju is a freshman, but I think that they struggled with getting Juju open and getting her the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Which I mean, you got to get the ball to your star, and they
Mm-hmm.
struggled doing that. I know the posts they kind of were fumbling a little bit. They missed a
Mm-hmm.
couple passes that Juju got to them. I know the point guard she was frustrating us all. She had some
Mm-hmm.
wide open threes and she wasn't able to hit it except for the one at the end of the quarter.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, yeah, you got to knock down open shots. I mean, you got to have people around your star that can help support them, right?
Yeah.
It can't just be all on them, especially going against a team like UConn, where
Mm-hmm.
everyone knows their role and plays their
Mm-hmm.
role well.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I'm so proud of Juju. I think she
Mm-hmm.
had a crazy freshman year, like
Mm-hmm.
hands down.
Yep.
I think I even chose USC to win in the bracket only because of all the great things she's been doing. I
Mm-hmm.
thought it would just be like the icing on top for her to get,
Mm-hmm.
to the
Yeah.
Final Four.
Yeah.
But I'm also a big UConn fan. I've
Mm-hmm.
always loved UConn. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, Diana Taurasi, guys. I know you guys all remember from WNBA, but
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a big UConn fan, and so I'm definitely not mad that they are continuing. But it
Yeah.
was sad. I mean, and I know Juju wants it. I mean, we saw it
Yeah.
live. We saw how bad she wanted it. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, I'm wearing this USC jersey. I'm not a freaking bandwagon USC fan. I just really love Juju Watkins. Like
mhm.
we all know I ride with Dawn, okay? Dawn Staley is the woman, okay? So, I'm wearing this because of the passion Juju displayed after the game. Because if you're a competitor and you played any type of sport, it's like once like I don't know. It's hard to explain if you haven't played and you give it your all and then you come up short and it's just like this frustration and like sadness and everything all in one. So just
Mhm.
seeing her and I think us being there live and watching her go through that was just like it brings you back to those moments where it's like you came up short but you put in all this effort.
Yeah,
So like that got me. But I will give it to UConn. 7 freaking players and you made it to a Final Four.
yeah.
That Gino, you're the man, bro. Like that's crazy. We were talking about it. We were watching them warm up, and half the team comes out in sweatsuits because they're injured, and half the team are stretching, and we're just like, dude, UConn's legit. Like
Mhm.
the only thing stopping UConn is obviously foul trouble because they don't have the depth. But it's like they are seasoned. They've been here. They've done that. They have Paige Beckers. To me, the one of the best players in college basketball
Yeah.
that everyone has forgotten about. which I continually bring up because you don't forget about Paige Beckers. But yeah, this will just segue into the Final Four matchup. This matchup against Iowa is going to be insane. And I feel like you know how everyone says there's a script. There's always a script, right? Everyone wanted to see Iowa LSU. Yep. Everyone wanted to see Paige versus Caitlin now. So it's like there's always a script. It's always something, right? But it's going to be an interesting game. And the only reason I didn't want this matchup to happen is because I don't want it to be a Paige versus Caitlin thing. It's still a team sport at the end of the day. And I feel like if Paige does less than Caitlin, everyone's gonna be saying like, "Oh, see, Caitlin is better than Paige." Da, 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 da. You know what I'm saying? Like, but if you understand like sports and team and all that, everything plays a factor. It's not just one person. So I don't know. Who do you think wins the game?
Well, I'm rocking with UConn.
Yeah, I know.
I can't go against UConn.
You know what? Paige Becker signed my jersey, so I'm going UConn, baby.
Yeah.
We're gonna get so much hate for that.
It's gonna be a good game. Yeah. I mean, Iowa, especially if she comes out hitting. I mean, Caitlin's hard to guard. But
yeah, who's guarding Caitlin? Nika Mule, probably. That's gonna be a great matchup.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait to see that.
I'm just worried about foul trouble. I hope
it's the foul trouble.
I hope we get good refs for the game.
Yeah, it's gonna be the foul trouble. If anything, that's gonna be their downfall. But it's gonna be a great game. Either way, whatever. Good game. South Carolina versus NC State, though, Megan. Talk to me.
I think that this is going to be a tough game for South Carolina. I think NC State is able to bring their hot streak from Portland to Cleveland. If they can bring it over, it's going to be a tough match. Yeah, I think it's going to be a tough match, but I think South Carolina is going to pull out on top, and I'm hoping that the NC State game only prepares them for the championship.
So obviously, I'm rocking South Carolina. There's no other answer. But I'm just saying, NC State. There's a little nervousness. They are on a tear right now. They're on a hot streak.
The game was not at 4 p.m. though.
Yeah. Thanks.
Because I know it's going to be good and I want to watch the entire game.
Yeah, because I want to get the whole vibe. I want to understand why they're in that position when I tune in at 5:30 when I'm off of work. No. But yeah, no, it's going to be both these games are going to be good games. 1 seed and 3 seed on both sides. Did you notice that?
Yep.
But yeah, I am nervous. I'm nervous for these next couple of games. It's going to be crazy. But yeah, let us know what you guys think. I just can't wait. It's only a couple days until game day again. But we had a great time in Portland. It was fun. All the fans. So many people travel just with the team. They don't have any kids or anything like on the team. They just travel there. Like that's cool. That's what we aspire to be one day, No.
Yep.
But let us know your guys' predictions. I'm over talking about the March Madness bracket, so you guys can go ahead and brag because I'm just over it. Go brag in the comments about being number one. Brooke, luckily, is somehow number one at the moment that she told us, so I don't know how because literally 2 days ago she was complaining about how she was last. So I don't know. This thing might be rigged. I need to look into it. But let us know also if you guys want to join our women's fantasy basketball league. But thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back next week with a recap from the Final Four and the championship game. Then we're preparing for the draft. We'll be doing our mocks because I'm still mad about Georgia anymore. Don't even talk to me about it. Don't put it in the comments. But let us know what you guys thought. Please like, subscribe, comment, and we'll be back next week. Peace.
Peace.